Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Thursday, October the 24th. My name is Barry Anderson and I'm the moderator of the Trade Ideas Trade Room. This is the address to get into the room and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. All right, how many trades today? One, two, three, four trades to go over. And the first one was CLDX, Celldex Therapeutics. Again, bio, kind of hot and all that sort of stuff. So I was watching this one, and here's this. Excuse me, the blue line here is where the stock opened. So it opened there, a bit of a uh, fall right from the beginning, and then it came roared right back. These are again 5-minute candles, so it roared right back within 15 minutes, and then it started accelerating. So I looked at this now. Look, this was more of a hunch, I have to tell you. This is more of a hunch play for me because, I mean, this is not a great pattern to trade from. It's definitely more of a momentum trade. But sometimes in the early morning, because a lot of times I do not trade before 10 o'clock, but I took the trade because it just looked strong. The market was good. So I took the trade right here at 1566. And I sold half of it right there at 1585. Watched it come down, bounced off my buy area a couple of times, and then back up. And I was really, really hoping for a 16 break. Had a 16 break, I think it could have really run. But that whole number, it's amazing how often that whole number provides such a psychological barrier. And in this case, that definitely happened. Came back down, came back up, came back down again, up again. And at this point, I finally had enough. I got out of the trade right there at 1594. But you know what? 1566 to 1594 on a $15.50 stock is a good percentage. So happy with the trade, definitely. Just really had hoped that it was going to break through 16 and then gone on a nice little run. Next trade did not work out. GSK, and I was looking for. This was actually a short. Yeah. Um, this was strong, and then it started coming down. And you know what? I'm sorry. I know the reason why I was in CLDK or CLDX. I'm sorry. I should have. I got to start writing some notes on these. This is look at this volume right there. You see this huge volume, and so this was my alert right here. And so when I saw this volume right here, I thought, okay, does this volume mean anything? And the minute it was followed up by another green candle, I decided to take the trade. That's why I got into this trade. So with that in mind, GSK, kind of the same thing. See this huge volume surge right there, and it was starting to come down. So this time I decided to take the trade, but I wanted to go short. And it popped around. It kind of made a little bit of an error, though it didn't really hurt me because I said I was going to put my stop at the top of this candle, which is actually 45.68. For some reason, I thought it was 45.66. So I kept waiting for the ask to get up to 45.66, and when that happened, I got out of the trade right here. And so this one didn't work. This volume candle did not signify more of a move down. I sort of jumped the gun on it. Really, I should have waited on this candle right there to see if it could close, but start, moving down, and then I should have taken the trade, and probably thought. But I think I was a little cocky. The first one worked so well that I thought, well, maybe I'll just jump the gun a little bit, and the next bar will be down. But at any rate, didn't work. But so we just got to move on. Now the next one was a really scary one. Syna and Synaptics. Now, this one you can see right here that, I bring in my little bounce alerts, and you can see that Sina was actually at 62, 62, 69. So 62, 69. So right in this area here is when I started getting the alert as a bounce. But, you know, really what I like for my bounces is that the next green candle, which here's the green candle, it's got to close above this. But obviously, if I waited for that, then my stop is way too long because or too wide because my stop usually is going to be the bottom of the last red candle. So right there is 62.26. So if I'd waited up to here at 63.12, there's no way I was going to take the trade. So I kind of jumped the gun in this. Again, the market was reasonable. So I looked at this tail right there, a little tail right there, but I looked at this tail right there, thought, okay, maybe the sellers have exhausted themselves a little bit. And so I took the trade sort of halfway up this bar, and I got into the trade at what is that, 62, I think that's 62.55. And I quickly got out at 63.12. So this was a super fast trade. This one is obviously very can be very whippy. I mean, look at this: whip up, whip down, whip up, whip down. So the spread between the bid and the ask also was getting crazy, and so I just said, you know what? When this breaks at 63, I'm out of there. And that was a super fast trade, and profitable, but a little bit reckless, to be honest with you, because it's not my true bounce pattern. This is, but not the entry. But took it anyway, and it worked out. And then the last one, I waited forever on this one. GIMO. Now, people in the room were already watching this, and a lot of people, I think, were in this area here, and some have predicted that it might get up to $15. Anyway, so it was on a thumbnail chart for me, so I was watching it, and on this pattern down here, I decided, especially on this tail, call and pretty good volume. So looked at this and thought, okay, this is a pretty good volume. Nice tail here. So maybe the sellers are tired, the buyers are taking over. Here's a green candle. And so I took the trade right here at 1362. It went up, got up to 1381. But I was holding on. I was really thinking that maybe it would challenge the 14 mark again. Dipped down. Now, I should have probably got rid of it here, 1352, and I'm in at 1362, down a dime. But I was looking for me, the volume was so low. I was thinking, okay, maybe I should wait for a close below my buy, and so it came right back up. Came back down again, but again, the volume was so low. It wasn't like there was a lot of selling taking place. It was just what we call a low volume sell off. And then it came back up and just, did nothing. Came back down again, up. And here's where I really took a couple of green candles, sort of like this pattern right there, a couple of green candles. I thought, okay, now it's going to start to move. When it didn't, I decided enough is enough. And so I took a 10-cent gain on that one. And, it's really done nothing since then. So that's it. Four trades. Looks like we shook off what's the SPY doing right now? We obviously, SPY is up. We've obviously shook off the Ebola scare from yesterday. Some of those are not doing anything at all. In fact, Lake has had a pretty bad day. It's down $1.60, but they also announced a financing at $10 just before the market opened, and this is where they announced it. So you can see the effect that it had on the market, on Lake itself. It actually brought down a lot of the other, call them the other Ebola stocks, because I'm sure the people thought, wow, look at Lake, it's going down. Didn't realize why though. They thought, well, maybe there's some news out that was on a good note, detrimental to the Ebola stock. So they all started going down. If we take a look at, let me just bring up Apt. I think that's another one that, yeah, you see right here. See, it came down too, and then it popped immediately back up. And again, people thinking that it was something to do with Ebola, and it really was nothing. It was just that they announced a $10 financing. It's funny, I wanted to actually short this, but I have no shorts available at my broker, and yet last week or a couple of weeks ago, they were available. So anyway, we'll have to see what happens. Other one which is interesting to me is Alibaba. I really am hoping that this can break $100. This got up to I think 99.60 or something like that. It didn't quite break 100 on its IPO day. And, it's had a tremendous, let's take a look at the daily here. It's had a tremendous rise since then. So all this is down because of the market was going down, and I think Ebola and all that, and so the market was kind of scared, and so it dragged everything down. But here's the low of 82.84, and look at this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, it is back up to 97. I think if it gets through 100, it could go on a nice little run. But so that's what I'm kind of waiting for. I haven't played it at all in this area, but I think if it gets through 100, I think it could have a nice little run. So that is it for another week. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. Let me just bring back the cover, and this is the address to get into the room. And I hope to see you in the trading room on Monday.